All right, welcome in. Today we are watching Cardinals Brewers, and it is going to be Jacob Misiorowski in his first start of his MLB career. He's 23 years old, in AAA right now, but he's going to be playing for the Brewers today. He has a fastball, curveball, and cutter. They rank his command 40 out of 45, so they have him as a pretty great player. If we look at Baseball Savant, he was ranked number 4 in their pipeline, and he was a top 100 prospect at number 71 coming into the year. In 2025, he has a 2.13 ERA at the minor league level, 80 strikeouts and 63 in the third innings with just a 1.09 whip. That is incredible. So you can expect great things out of him today, but he'll be facing the regular Cardinal lineup and Sonny Gray. So the Cardinals still have a pretty good chance in this one. It's going to be Nootbaar in left, still leading off. It looks like Donovan is getting another day off. We don't see him on the IL yet, though, so you wonder exactly what's going on with Donovan. I guess it's just still that same tightness. Maybe he'll be back tomorrow. But I'll go ahead and pull up the lineup as the game is about to get underway. So the Cardinals are 5 games back of the Cubs. The Brewers 5.5 games. They have the same number of wins, but the Cardinals have one fewer loss at 32 versus 33. It'll be Nootbaar, Wynn, Herrera, Contreras, Burleson, Arenado, Gorman, Pajes, and Scott. So similar approach to yesterday, with the outfield having Burleson and Gorman playing second base, with Donovan getting the day off. So the outfield is Nootbaar, Burleson, and Scott. Pajes is behind the plate. Herrera's playing DH. It's the regular infield outside of Gorman playing second, with Arenado at third, Contreras at first, and Wynn at short. Here's the first pitch of the game. Misiorowski's first career pitch is 100 miles an hour, in there for a strike, and his career is underway. Great pitch to Nootbaar. It's 0-1. Nootbaar hitting .233 so far this year with a 708 OPS, 8 home runs. So we'll see if he can lock back in. He's having a rough couple of weeks. The 0-1 pitch. Another fastball. That one at 102. They call it a sinker at the top of the zone. Swing and a miss by Nootbaar. It's 0-2. Third pitch from Jacob Misiorowski is another fastball. That one fouled off, so he won't have a 3-pitch strikeout to start his career. Good job by Nootbaar, making some contact and staying alive. That is some extreme velocity at over 100, and Nootbaar is going to go get some grip spray. For the Brewers today, it is William Contreras behind the plate, with Hoskins at first, Turang at second, Ortiz at short, and Durbin at third. Here's the 0-2 pitch to Nootbaar. Put a cutter below the zone. Good eye by Nootbaar. It's 1-2. To finish off that lineup for the Brewers, Yelich is playing DH today, batting fourth. And then you have Collins in left, Frelick in right, and Chourio in center. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Fastball down the middle, popped up, out of play, and Nootbaar's still alive. Good at-bat so far from Nootbaar. Misiorowski about to throw his 6th pitch of the game. Still 1-2. Nootbaar is ready. Here's the pitch. Cutter is driven over to second base. Easy play at second, and the first out is recorded by Turang. Turang being the high on base, good base stealer for the Brewers. I believe he was one of the best base stealers in baseball last year. This year, just a 691 OPS with a 261 average for him. So he hasn't been perfect, but we'll get to him some more before he comes up to bat. Here's the first pitch to Mason Wynn from Misiorowski. Fastball down the middle, cued the other way, but foul. It's 0-1. So that is some crazy velocity there, 102, and he's throwing it consistently. But Wynn was almost right on top of that. So this will be a heck of a tough game to score some runs in, with Sonny Gray and Misiorowski on the mound. Here's the 0-1 to Wynn. Up and away with the cutter, perfectly placed in the upper outside corner. It's 0-2. So we'll see if Wynn can figure Misiorowski out here. Way ahead in the count on Wynn. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Fastball low and in. Fouled off. Still 0-2. Good hands from Mason Wynn to catch up to that. Wynn hitting .271 this year with a .745 OPS. Does have 6 home runs. Here is the 0-2 pitch, which is also the 10th pitch of the inning. Cued into the air, easily playable at second base, and Turang makes another play. So 2 hitters, 2 outs to Bryce Turang. 2 men out, that'll bring up Ivan Herrera, as Misiorowski looks to complete his first scoreless inning of his Major League career. Based on his stuff, it'll be the first of many. First pitch to Herrera. In there for a strike, 96 mile an hour, low and away. It's 0-1. So that one said it was a 4-seam. So he has that sinker at over 100 and then a 4-seam at 96. Here's the 0-1 to Herrera. Swing and a miss on a cutter at 96 right down the middle. It's 0-2. So maybe what was read as a 4-seam is just the cutter. The pitch checking isn't always perfect, but it's 0-2 on Herrera. Here's the 3rd pitch of the inning. Sorry, of the at-bat. Upstairs 1-2. So Misiorowski just missed up with that one. Still 100 miles an hour. Really impressive velocity from a starter. The 1-2 pitch to Herrera. Grounded to the right side, easy play at first base, and they make it. So a 1-2-3 first inning of the career of Jacob Misiorowski. And it'll go to Sonny Gray, still scoreless in Milwaukee. So there's not a lot of information on him other than that pitch mix, which we just saw. So we kind of just have to read the pitching for the Brewers off of the eye test today. For the Cardinals, though, there are plenty of numbers. We have Sonny Gray on the mound, 7 pitching run value so far this year. Great low walk rate at just 4.6%. Also gets a lot of chase at 31.4%. Good whiff and good strikeout rate. Has given up a few barrels this year and doesn't have a great ground ball percentage, but it is mostly soft contact and the defense is there behind him. So Gray still looks very good. Pretty similar to last season, although it got bad for him late in the year. In 2023, he was the best pitcher in baseball, according to pitching run value. So if you see some more of that, it wouldn't be too surprising with the Cardinals' defense behind him, but obviously he's not pitching in Minnesota anymore, so the ballpark advantages are no longer there. But that's all right. So it'll be Sonny Gray facing the Brewers lineup. So we can check out Chourio. He'll be due up this inning. He's been an average hitter this year, just a .728 OPS. He really woke up in the playoffs last year, but hasn't quite carried over. Really nice sprint speed at 29.2 feet per second. 3 outs above average and pretty good bat speed. And it'll start with Sal Frelick batting first. So let's see how it goes. Sonny Gray, he's 7-1 this year with a 3.35 ERA. 38.6% ground ball rate, and it's a lot of sinker, sweeper, 4-seam, curveball. We are maybe a little bit behind due to the commercial, so I will skip after this pitch. First pitch of the game is in there for a strike with the fastball. It's 0-1. Sal Frelick at the plate. The 0-1 pitch is low and in, 1-1. So now we should be live for this third pitch. The 1-1 to Sal Frelick is upstairs with the cutter, 2-1. So Frelick with a 737 OPS this year, 1.4 WAR accumulated with 4 home runs in 66 games. Definitely a solid season. Here's the 2-1. Top of the zone, fouled back, 2-2. Batting average sits at .284 for Frelick, which means he's getting on base plenty for a leadoff hitter. Also has a great 2-strike batting average at .239. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Up and away, driven over the head of Arenado for a base hit. So that's a base hit for Frelick. One man on with nobody out for the Brewers in the first inning. So here comes Chourio, who we took a look at for a minute just a second ago. Has a 728 OPS. Was better over the course of last season, but he's still a really fast player. So you got to watch out for that as well. Can't stay too far back or he could bunt for a hit. First pitch, ground ball up the middle. Mason Wynn steps on the bag and makes the play. It's a double play on Jackson Chourio. 2 outs, nobody on. The base runner is erased. And that'll bring up William Contreras. Good play there by Wynn, but it was tailor-made on that ground ball. Nice pitch from Gray. William Contreras is not up to his usual standard this year, has a 695 OPS with a 242 average. Here's the first pitch. Up and away for a strike at 93. It's 0-1. Contreras sits at 5 home runs on the year with 28 RBI in 64 games. The 0-1 pitch. Up and in, fouled back, 0-2. So nice job by Gray, getting the ground ball in the last at-bat, settling in, and now he's way ahead of Contreras for a chance to face the minimum as well. Wilson Contreras checking on his own hand right now. Over at first base. I wonder what's going on with him. Hope he's okay. Either way, here's the 0-2 pitch to William Contreras. Low and away with the sweeper. Taken for a ball. It's 1-2. That was a really good eye from William Contreras. Read that one right out of the hand and didn't chase. The 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss on a sinker at the top of the zone. Down goes William Contreras, and it is a 3-batter inning for both of the pitchers. We go to the second. It is going to be Wilson Contreras, Burleson, and Arenado. So all we can do today is just look at the hitters. Unless we can keep finding minor league numbers, but I'd rather just watch Misiorowski. Let him teach us what he can do by watching. So Burleson this year, 1 batting run value, about average as a hitter. Squares up the ball a lot, good, powerful swings with a high average exit velo, but doesn't have a great launch angle. That's why the barrel rate is down at just 5.2%. Also doesn't strike out a lot, but doesn't walk either. So if he can fix the launch angle when he makes contact, that would be incredible. We also have Wilson Contreras, the Contreras brothers playing against each other in this series. He's been an above average hitter as he's been climbing up the rankings since that bad first month. Finally above average on the stat board, and he's going to continue to climb over the course of the year. 752 OPS. He'll probably be above 800 by the end of the year. Really incredible contact numbers. Strikeout rate continues to fall over the course of the year, and the walk rate is climbing as well. It was just an awful start to the year for Contreras, but he's been great since then. And then Arenado, he's also heating up a little bit recently. 695 OPS, hasn't been perfect, but still hasn't struck out, which is really, really nice for a team when you need something like a walk-off sac fly, which is what he had to do against the Dodgers. Then he'll make the contact you need and win you the game. So it's cool to see these guys hit. Let's see what they can do against Misiorowski, as the game will be back in just a moment. Alrighty. Wilson Contreras stepping up to the plate. Here's the pitch. Way upstairs at 99 miles an hour. It's 1-0 on Contreras. The broadcast is probably giving us an update on Brendan Donovan, but I can't hear it. Here's the 1-0 to Contreras. Whoa, he did a weird step. Took a strike there. It's 1-1. I don't know what he was doing. Looked like he was trying to step out, but didn't do it in time. Either way, it's 1-1. Here's the third pitch to Contreras from Misiorowski. Up and in with the fastball, a swing and a miss at 96. I guess that one is the cutter. It is 1-2. So whenever it picks it up as a four seam, I might say fastball, but if it's 96, it's the cutter. Here's the 1-2 to Contreras. That was a slider at 87, fouled back, still 1-2. The fact that he has a slider that goes 87 and a cutter that goes 96 means he might just have the same pitch that he can do at different levels. Like just a little movement of the hand goes from that 96 cutter to that 87 slider, and that's a lot to detect as a hitter. Either way, here's the 1-2 to Contreras. Way up and away at 101 with the sinker slash fastball. It's 2-2. Contreras is way inside right now, a little bit almost out of the batter's box, crowding the plate. Here's the 2-2 pitch from Misiorowski. Swing and a miss on a fastball outside, and down goes Contreras. So another strikeout for him. Might be his first, actually. No, his second strikeout. I'm sorry, Gray has a strikeout. Yeah, that was Misiorowski's first strikeout of his career. I had the wrong pitcher pulled up, so that makes sense. So they got to save the baseball there. That's a nice milestone. Let's see if we can get another. First pitch to Burleson. Swing and a miss. 101 on the outside part of the plate. 0-1. He is at 21 pitches facing the second batter of the second inning, so a pretty efficient start so far. Here's the 0-1 to Burleson. Popped up, playable in the outfield. Churio's going to make the call and the grab. 2 outs here in the second. And that's going to bring up Nolan Arenado, still looking for the first base runner today for the Cardinals. Arenado's played 45 games at American Family Feud, is hitting, Family Field. Family Feud, that's pretty funny. 331 average here, double-digit home runs, and 45-plus RBIs. First pitch, in there for a strike with the cutter. It's 0-1. Misiorowski's whole family at the game, as you'd expect. The 0-1 pitch way outside at 99, 1-1. The 1-1 pitch to Arenado is just up and away with the cutter, 2-1. So Arenado has the count advantage now, up 2-1. See if he can get a pitch to hit. The 2-1 from Misiorowski. Right down the middle at 96 with the cutter, 2-2. Alrighty. The 2-2 pitch to Arenado. Fouled off. Good swing from Arenado, able to stay alive. That one was 99 right down the middle. Arenado is settling in. Here's the next pitch from Misiorowski. Outside with the cutter, it's 3-2. So Arenado trying to be the first man to reach base against Misiorowski. He's already the first guy to take him to a full count. Still a really good pitch on the cutter outside there. Just unable to get the chase from Arenado. Here's the 3-2. At the bottom of the zone, pulled over to third base. Good play is made, and he's still perfect through 2. Good play there by Durbin. We'll go to the bottom of the second, still scoreless in Milwaukee. So due up for the Brewers is going to be Yelich, Hoskins, and Collins. How's Yelich doing this year? Not too well. A 737 OPS, just a little bit above average in the batting value. Still walks a good amount, hits the ball pretty hard, but he's striking out a lot. That's a 26.8% strikeout rate, whiffs at 30.7% of the time, and the launch angle is not great. 8th percentile in the sweet spot at 28%. If you look at last year when he had a 910 OPS, he was way above that across the board. Didn't strike out nearly as much at just 18.4%. And the launch angle was in the sweet spot 32.2% of the time. So we'll see if he can get that stuff back up. Hopefully not today. Hoskins and Collins. I know what Hoskins is up to. I don't know about Collins. Isaac Collins. Collins has had 113 at-bats for a 230 average, 673 OPS, just 2 home runs, so not too great. Does have a nice walk rate at 13.4%, so that's one of the main reasons they're probably playing him every day. He is 27. He's about average in the speed, pretty good fielder. Interesting. Rhys Hoskins, we'll pull him up just for a second. 787 OPS, above average in the batting value. He's been pretty good, walks a good amount, hits the ball hard, and has 10 home runs on the year. So not bad at all. Got to watch out for him. Here's the first pitch to Yelich. It is right down the middle with the curveball for a strike, 0-1. Donovan looks bored out of his mind. On the bench, the 0-1 pitch is up and in with the fastball, 1-1. The 1-1 pitch to Yelich is upstairs with the fastball, 2-1 now. It must suck to have to watch your team play instead of being able to participate. And obviously it's going to be exhausting to stand the entire game, so that's why Donovan looks so bored. Either way, the 2-1. 2-1's in the dirt. It's 3-1 on Yelich. Yelich has 13 home runs this year. And he's a career 250 hitter against Sonny Gray with 8 strikeouts and 6 hits. The 3-1 pitch. Swing and a miss on a fastball inside. That would have been ball 4. It's 3-2 now on Yelich. Timeout called. Rhys Hoskins is waiting on deck with nobody on, nobody out in the second. The 3-2 pitch to Yelich. Swing and a miss on a curveball in the dirt. Down goes Yelich, and there's one out in the second. Here comes Rhys Hoskins. So one out, nobody on. First pitch to Hoskins. In there for a strike with a sinker on the outside part of the plate. 0-1. Hoskins has been an above average hitter this year. Does have 10 home runs, 37 RBIs this year in 65 games. The 0-1. He's upstairs with the cutter, 1-1. One pitch. In there for a strike with the curveball, 1-2. Nice pitch from Gray. The 1-2 pitch. Reaches out and pokes it over to third. Arenado is there for out number 2. 2 down, nobody on. And that's going to bring up Isaac Collins. Collins has limited sample size at the big league level. A 230 average so far this year, 637 OPS. And he gets the start in left field today with 2 outs and nobody on. Let's see if Gray can continue to face the minimum. First pitch to Collins. Fouled back on a fastball. It's 0-1. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Inside, but called a strike. A nice cutter. Did clip the inside part of the plate, but very close pitch, and Collins had a word with the ump on that one. It's 0-2 with 2 outs in the second. Here's the next pitch to Isaac Collins. Right down the middle, fouled back, still 0-2. Good hands there from Collins, staying alive in the at-bat. He does have 2 home runs and 11 RBIs this year in the 51 games. Trying to stay alive in this second inning. 0-2 pitch from Gray. He's low and in with the sweeper. It's 1-2. So Gray about to throw his 25th pitch of the game, which is a just fine pace for this early in a game. On pace to throw his 100th pitch at the end of the 8th inning. That would be perfectly fine. Here's the 1-2 to Collins. Up and in, doesn't get the call. It's 2-2. That was a nice sinker. That one, because it was right at the corner, it was too close to call a strike, and that's understandable. Although it technically is a strike. Collins is a 115 average hitter with 2 strikes. The next pitch is fouled off his foot, still 2-2. Really nice at-bat from Collins. But he does have over a 40% strikeout rate in 2 strike counts, so let's see if Gray can finish him off. Two outs, nobody on. Here's the 2-2 pitch to Collins. Just outside with the sweeper. That looked like strike 3. Just didn't get the call. Bryce Turang is on deck. He has 4 home runs this year. He'll come up if Collins is able to draw the walk. The 3-2 pitch. Low and in, pulled, and fair, and into the corner. It's going to be extra bases for Collins. So a clutch 2-out hit for Collins. He's looking for 3. And he will get there. A triple for Collins with a full count and 2 outs in the second. Big opportunity for Bryce Turang to drive in a run. Let's take a look at Collins' sprint speed. Isaac Collins is a 27.4 feet per second sprint speed, which is 56th percentile in baseball. The surprise triple from him as he was able to get it into that right field corner sets up Bryce Turang. Here's the first pitch from Gray to Turang. In there for a strike with the changeup. It's 0-1. Turang hitting .261 this year with 4 home runs. Big base stealer. He's played 66 games this year. Here's the 0-1 pitch from Gray. Swing and a miss on a fastball at 92, right down the middle. It's 0-2. So Gray trying to strand Collins at third, getting ready for the 0-2 pitch. And here it is. Curveball away, grounded over to third. Arenado has to go to first, and he'll miss the throw. It's going to be an infield single for Turang, and it's 1-0 Brewers in the second. Tough play for Arenado, one that you'd expect him to make, but he threw it up the line that time. Let's see, it was a hard hit ball. Arenado had to range to his left and throw on the run, and Turang just has too much speed. Tough play for Arenado. It's 1-0 Brewers. 3 hits today for the Brewers. 2 of them back-to-back just now. And that will bring up Caleb Durbin. Durbin hitting .204 this year with a .606 OPS. And Misiorowski has a run to support him so far. Here's the pitch. Durbin scores around, lays a good bunt down, but it is going to roll foul. 0-1. Durbin getting the start at third base. He is in his 49th game of the year. Just 2 home runs, 22 RBIs so far. The 0-2 from Gray. Instead, he's going to check on Turang, make sure he doesn't steal a base. It is 0-2 on Durbin. The 0-2 pitch. Up and away. They do a pitch out. And Turang did not attempt to steal, so that was a waste of a pitch. 1-2. I get the strategy there, though. Here's the 1-2 to Durbin. They go bottom of the zone with the sweeper, 2-2. So now I'd be worried about a stolen base attempt from Turang because you really have no incentive to do another pitch out. You really don't want to go to a fastball at the bottom of the zone either, so you almost have to go to the top of the zone if you're going to try to throw him out. Let's see what happens. The 2-2 pitch. They go inside with the sweeper. It's fouled off. Still 2-2. Joey Ortiz is waiting on deck. This is going to be the 26th pitch of the inning for Gray, the 36th of the game. The 2-2 to Durbin. Way upstairs, 3-2. So now Turang is going to get the head start either way. And Gray's going to have to make a good pitch with Ortiz on deck. Ortiz does have just a 188 batting average, but you just don't want to put a man in scoring position for no reason. Turang gets his head start. It's pulled and caught at third by Arenado. We go to the third inning. It is 1-0 Milwaukee. Gorman, Pajes, and Scott. So let's see, is Gorman back at league average? Not quite. 683 OPS. It's not bad. It's just a little bit below league average. Average fielder as well, a little bit slow. But he has that potential to drive the ball, as we've seen in 2023. Home runs to all fields even. Barrel rate in the 97th percentile. So we'll see if he can get that back. Still has a pretty good barrel rate this season, but see what he can do. 11.8% walk rate isn't bad either. Will also be Pajes and Scott, so I'll take a look at that. Pajes, obviously a good defensive catcher. -4 batting run value. Obviously, most of his value comes from the defensive side. Not a super fast player. Doesn't whiff much. That's always good. First pitch to Gorman, missed inside. It's 1-0. So Misiorowski at pitch 30 of his debut. The next pitch, right down the middle with the fastball, 1-1. Gorman hitting .220 this year, but does have 3 home runs and a .683 OPS in just 40 games. Here's the 1-1 to Gorman. Outside with the sinker, 2-1. Cardinals looking for their first base runner of the game. See what Gorman can do. The 2-1 pitch. Up and in, a swing and a miss on a fastball at 98. Good pitch from Misiorowski. Gorman obviously known for his home run hitting. He led the Cardinals in home runs in 2023 before striking out too much last season and ending up in the minors. The 2-2 pitch to Gorman. Right down the middle, fouled back at 99, still 2-2. You do wonder how many pitches the Brewers are willing to go with Misiorowski with the velocity that he has. I remember Skeens was getting held at 90 pitches at the beginning of his career. So let's see. Here's the 2-2 to Gorman. Just outside with the cutter. It's 3-2. On deck is Pedro Pajes, the Cardinal catcher. See if Gorman can get on base for him. The 3-2 pitch to Gorman. Way up and away at 100 miles an hour, and Gorman walks. So 1 man on with nobody out, and that's going to bring up Pedro Pajes. That was the first base runner allowed by Misiorowski in his career. On his 36th pitch, it was a pretty good run to go 2 perfect innings to start his career. Still looking for the first hit against him are the Cardinals. First pitch to Pajes is low with the fastball, 1-0. The 1-0 pitch. Way low and away with the fastball, 2-0. So Misiorowski maybe losing a little bit of the command as the game goes along. Falling way behind on Pages. And Pages is a catcher, so he'll be really responsible with this at-bat. Here's the 2-0 pitch. Inside, fouled back, 2-1. I wouldn't have recommended swinging at that, so maybe Pages won't be perfectly cautious. I would have probably taken that pitch, tried to make him throw a strike on his own. That one would have been inside. Either way, here's the 2-1 to Pages. Goes right down the middle, pulled up the middle too short, and it's going to be a double play. So Misiorowski erases that walk, still has a no-hitter, and has faced the minimum through 8. So that's going to bring up Victor Scott II with a 242 average this year, 647 OPS. So I would say Pages kind of bailed out Misiorowski there by giving that easy play over to Ortiz. Either way, here's the pitch to Scott. Up and in, it's 1-0. So still struggling to find the zone. The 1-0 to Scott is inside, fouled back, 1-1. That one did find the zone at 100 miles an hour with the fastball. We'll see if Victor Scott can stay alive in this at-bat. The 1-1 pitch. He's a swing and a miss on a fastball above the zone, 1-2. So I'd say the rate of pitches that he's actually putting in the strike zone is not that high, and I think that's something to maybe take a look at on that second time through the order as you see his family watching. 1-2 pitch to Scott. He is right down the middle, fouled back, still 1-2. But that's mostly been an issue for this inning, so if he settles back in, Cardinals might be in trouble. It's been an outstanding outing so far. This will be pitch 45 for Misiorowski. The 1-2 pitch. Outside, ball 2. It's 2-2. That one was the cutter. Two pitch to Scott. Check swing. Did he go? Yes, he did. Down goes Victor Scott. Another strikeout for Misiorowski. And he has a no-hitter going, facing the minimum through 3. Just 1 walk allowed, 2 strikeouts so far today. Ortiz, Frelick, Churio are due up. So let's check out Joey Ortiz. Obviously hasn't been a very good hitter this year. Second percentile on that number with a 509 OPS. He was about a little bit of, well, about league average last year, it looks like. Yeah, a little bit above average. That's what I was thinking. But he doesn't strike out a whole lot at 16.8%. Plays a really good defense at shortstop, and he's only 26 years old, so you understand why they're playing him. Just the slug number at 250 is not something you can stick with, so they're going to need him to get a couple of hits eventually. Last year he was above average, though, so you see why they're still confident in him. Had a way better walk rate and played great defense last year. We've already looked, well, I don't think we've looked at Frelick on here, so I'll pull him up. .743 OPS, a little bit above average. Very low strikeout rate. That's something about the Brewers is they don't strike out a whole lot as an entire unit. But not a lot of slug to go around so far this year. 391 slug is pretty good for Frelick. His expected is down at 350, so maybe that'll come down eventually, back to where he normally sits. 2023, that was a 351 slug. It was a below average performance, and he was below average last year as well. But he's been pretty good so far this year. So let's get back to the game. Sonny Gray still on the mound. First pitch to Ortiz is fouled back. It's 0-1. That one was 91 at the top of the zone. The 0-1 pitch to Joey Ortiz is going to get the call with a sinker on the outside part of the plate. It's 0-2. That one might have missed, but was able to get the call. Good job by Pajes. The 0-2 pitch. Sweeper below the zone. It's 1-2. Ortiz sits at negative 0.2 WAR through 67 games so far. Defense kind of keeping him afloat as they wait for him to pick it up on offense. The 1-2, he goes down and gets one. With the sinker, it's a fly ball to left. Easy play for Nootbaar. And there's one down in the third. So here comes Sal Frelick. Frelick, one of 3 Brewers with a hit the first time through the order. He is 1 for 1 so far today. We were just looking at his numbers. Hitting .288 this year with a .743 OPS. First pitch. Pulled foul. It's 0-1. Frelick has 4 home runs on the year. Looking to reach base for the second time today. The 0-1 pitch. Top of the zone, a fastball driven out to right field. Easy play for Burleson, and he'll make the grab. 2 outs. And that'll bring up Jackson Chourio. Chourio grounded into a double play his last time up. It was a tailor-made cue shot over to Mason Wynn. This time around, there's no base runners, so Gray can attack him however he likes. First pitch to Chourio. He's low and away with the fastball, 1-0. Chourio has 11 home runs so far this year, 39 RBIs, and 1.1 WAR accumulated as he swings and misses at a sinker at the top of the zone. It's 1-1. Chourio's been incredible against the Cardinals in his career. 4 home runs in 15 games with a .373 average. The 1-1 pitch. Ground ball, easy play at third. Arenado's there and makes the play. Almost missed with that throw, though. So Arenado not having his best day over at third. Either way, we go to the fourth. It's 1-0 Milwaukee. So it'll be Nootbaar, Wynn, and Herrera at the top of the order. Second time through against Misiorowski. We can leave Newt up. I'm going to go grab some water. Nootbaar's numbers are really coming down, especially at that expected batting average. He was above average all year, and now it's fallen all the way down to 31st percentile. But I need to grab water. Alrighty. Let's get back to the game. It'll be Nootbaar, Wynn, and Herrera. I imagine the game will be back by the time I get over there. Let's see. Nope, we have a cartoon. Alright, so I'll check out Mason Wynn real fast. So Mason Wynn, above average as a hitter. Great launch angle. Does not whiff, does not strike out. Walks about average. But just doesn't hit the ball that hard. So that's really the only thing to knock him. I mean, he plays great defense. He's fast. Can steal a base if you need him to. Good base running. But either way, first pitch to Nootbaar is a slider out above the zone. It's 1-0. So we'll see what Misiorowski can do his second time through the order. 1-0 pitch to Nootbaar is up and away, 2-0. So maybe they can wait him out. The 2-0 pitch to Nootbaar. Inside 3-0. So Misiorowski really starting to lose that command, as I was kind of noting at the beginning of last inning. 3-0 pitch now to Nootbaar. Upstairs, ball 4. A 4-pitch walk to start the fourth, and Nootbaar reaches with nobody out. So there's a base runner. Second walk of the game for the Cardinals. That'll bring up Mason Wynn, who is 0 for 1 so far today. Misiorowski was able to shut down the first 6 batters in the Cardinal order perfectly before a couple of walks so far in this one. Still no hits. The first pitch to Wynn. He is right down the middle at 92 with the cutter. 0-1. Wynn popped out his first time up. Nootbaar on first. Nobody out here. Cardinals trail 1-0. Here's the 0-1 pitch to Wynn. Wynn squares around, then pulls back. It is ball 1. 1-1. Wynn's accumulated 2 WAR so far this year by playing great defense at shortstop and hitting above average. 6 home runs, a 270 average. 742 OPS. Here's the 1-1. Inside, popped foul, 1-2. So Misiorowski finding it once again. Now that he's up against a right-handed hitter. That is one thing, is sometimes command gets worse when facing a lefty, just because it's something you're less used to, as there's so many right-handed people in the world. A lot of right-handed hitters. But obviously that wouldn't be something you can sustain, so he'll hopefully be able to figure that out. As Wynn fouls one back, still 1-2. And obviously that doesn't happen every time either way. Burleson did not reach base. Victor Scott didn't reach base. But Gorman and Nootbaar have both walked. And a lot of pitches out of the zone against the left-handed hitters so far. 1-2 pitch to Wynn. Right down the middle. Swing and a drive out to center, but it's playable for Churio. He'll make the grab. 1 out. So Nootbaar retreats to first, and that'll bring up Ivan Herrera. Herrera is 0 for 1 so far today. Has had a fantastic season, a 933 OPS with a 315 average. That's why the Cardinals plug him in at DH in every game where he's not catching. First pitch from Misiorowski to Herrera with Nootbaar on first. Fouled back, it's 0-1. That one was at 98 right down the middle. It's his first time going through an order for the second time in his career now, so maybe the Cardinals figured something out, or maybe the hitters can see his stuff a little better. Here's the 0-1 to Herrera. Outside, 1-1. Or maybe not, you know. He could settle in and throw a no-hitter. You never know, but I would bet against it. Especially at 57 pitches. The 1-1 is fouled off. 1-2 now. That was a perfect pitch. A cutter on the outside part of the zone. 1-2. Wilson Contreras is on deck. He's starting at first base today, facing his brother, William. They were both catchers prior to Wilson's move over to first for this season. Here's the 1-2 to Herrera. Swing and a miss on a fastball at the top of the zone. Looks like he has fantastic spin rate, as Herrera was way below that pitch, so probably had that spin, able to stay up high, not drop off like a lot of normal fastballs. Also, when it gets registered as a sinker, that's another hint that there's a really high spin rate. So 2 men out now with Nootbaar on first, and that'll bring up Wilson Contreras. So William went up and gave him a quick talk. Maybe it was the brotherly scouting report. Wilson Contreras with William behind the plate and Nootbaar on first. This will be the 60th pitch of the game for Misiorowski. Here's the pitch to Contreras. Way outside with the cutter, 1-0. Contreras could make a dent in the scoreboard here with an extra base hit with Nootbaar on first. The 1-0 pitch from Misiorowski. Just low with the cutter, 2-0. Contreras, the catcher, wanted that to be called a strike there. Did a little bit of a double take. It's 2-0. Here's the 2-0 pitch to Wilson. Up and in, check swing. No, he didn't. It's 3-0 now on Wilson Contreras. So with Alec Burleson on deck, the Cardinals might have a chance to walk over that run into scoring position and move Nootbaar to second with Contreras on first. Let's see what happens. The 3-0 pitch. Right down the middle at 97. It's 3-1. If you're a Brewers fan, it's really relieving to be able to see him be able to turn it on and go right down the middle when you need him to. It's not a command issue, it's just missing the spot, which is a lot better. Here is the 3-1 to Contreras. Goes outside and he misses just barely by about an inch. That's ball 4 with the cutter. And there are 2 on with 2 outs for Alec Burleson. So Nootbaar on second, Contreras on first. The game is 1-0 Brewers in Milwaukee in the top of the 4th. Cardinals looking for their first hit. And that would be a huge time for that. The first pitch to Burleson. He is up and away with the fastball, 1-0. So I am curious about my left-handed theory. If he continues to have bad command against the lefties, that would be a really bad sign for his career. I do expect him to settle in eventually, but here's the 1-0 to Burleson. In there for a strike at 93, right at the top of the zone, 1-1. Pitch number 67 for Misiorowski, the 1-1 to Burleson, is fouled back, 1-2. So a couple pitches dotted up the top of the zone there. Burleson will have to protect now, and you don't expect to see another walk, so really big pitch in the game here. Still looking for their first hit. Burleson at the plate, the 1-2 pitch. Way outside with the curveball, 2-2. That one at 86, about a foot outside of the zone. Burleson so far this year is hitting .256 with runners in scoring position. Here's the 2-2 to Burleson. Up and in, popped up, playable in right field. It's going to be called by the second baseman Turang, and he'll make the grab. We'll go to the bottom of the fourth. Still no hits for the Cardinals. Down 1-0 in Milwaukee. Really nice start so far from Misiorowski. It'll be William Contreras due up next, so that'll be cool to take a look at. He is at 6 batting run value, just a 695 OPS, but he walks a ton, 14.7%. Also strikes out below average at just 21%. Doesn't have a great average exit velo. I'm wondering why he has a positive batting run value. It's probably just well-timed homers. But the defense is obviously really good. Above average across the board. Great cut stealing above average for fielding value. And last year and the year before that, they were both great years for Contreras. So you expect to see some more of that. Who else is due up? Let's see. Yelich, Hoskins, we already looked at them, so I think we can just leave this here for a while. It's cool. I wonder if there's any trends between Wilson and William. Like high walk rate, looks like average strikeout rate. I don't think those are going to carry over. I think Wilson is almost the exact opposite. He was a bad defensive catcher who hits the ball hard, but he doesn't walk a ton and strikes out a lot. Like, I swear it's like the complete opposite. So you see, hits the ball hard across the board, but the strikeout and walk rate are below average. And if you go to the past, when he was a catcher, okay, he was a decent defensive catcher, according to the caught stealing, but he wasn't good at framing, and he would give up a lot of runs when he was behind the plate, so it's just funny that him and his own brother, like it's the same genetics, they can produce like opposite savant pages. Anyway, let's get back to the game. Sonny Gray on the mound. First pitch to William Contreras. Low and away with the curveball, gets the call. It's 0-1. The 0-1 pitch is in there with the cutter at 87. It's 0-2. Couple of good pitches from Gray. Contreras is 0 for 1 with a strikeout back in the first. Gray is looking to make that 2 with this 0-2 count. Gray is about to throw his 49th pitch of the day, so he has actually been more efficient in the pitch count than Misiorowski, despite not having a no-hitter and also already given up a run. The 0-2 pitch. Check swing. Yes, he did. Down goes William Contreras for his second strikeout of the day. 1 out, nobody on, and that'll bring up Christian Yelich. Just bounced a slider away that time, and Contreras couldn't hold back. Yelich so far is also 0 for 1 with a strikeout. Sonny Gray did a really nice job against the middle of the order. First pitch, pulled over to second base. Gorman makes a good running play, and down goes Yelich. 2 outs in the fourth, and that will bring up Rhys Hoskins. Hoskins hitting .256 so far this year with a 784 OPS. He is 0 for 1 so far in the game as well. Obviously known for some big home runs in his time with the Phillies, including a monster slam against, I don't think it was Schwellenbach, it was Spencer Strider of the Braves in the playoffs. Here's the 1-0 pitch now to Hoskins after Gray missed outside with the cutter. It is low and in with the sinker, 2-0. So cutter missed outside, sinker missed inside. That's what those pitches do. So maybe follow the movement the other way. Hoskins grounded out back in the second. But he's ahead in the count, 2-0 now. Here's the third pitch. In there for a strike with the cutter that time, up and away, 2-1. So Gray trying to have a quick inning here in the fourth, trying to go 1-2-3. And pass it back to the offense. The 2-1 pitch. Right down the middle, fouled back. Looks like it might actually be playable. Nope, it did get out of play, 2-2. So that was my first read on it, but the cameraman made me second guess. All right, so 2-2 count, 2 outs, nobody on in the fourth. Sonny Gray has thrown 10 pitches or less in every inning but that rough second inning, where he threw 27. Looking for the final out of the fourth. Here's the 2-2 pitch to Hoskins. Check swing. Yes, he did on a sweeper below the zone. Hoskins strikes out for the first time today. And Sonny Gray has his fourth strikeout of the game. We go to the fifth. It's 1-0 Milwaukee. It's going to be Arenado, Gorman, and Pages. You expect Misiorowski to stay in the game, so I just keep pulling up the hitters. Really low strikeout rate. We already talked about that. Arenado's defense has been a little bit worse than you'd expect this year. And it didn't start out that way. You started seeing some of the highlights and expecting to just see the Gold Glover that you always see at third, but over the course of the year this year, I've seen more mistakes than usual. And when he can't do it anymore at third base is when I think he should hang it up, because that's his identity. He is such a good third baseman. He still is, on a day-to-day basis, a great third baseman. But every once in a while, he'll just make a play, and you're like, is that really Arenado? That's not the guy that we've been seeing. But anyway, he's getting the hitting together. Still could make a really big difference for the Cardinals over the course of the rest of the year if they can get it together on the pitching side. But today, they have it together. They have Sonny Gray on the mound. Need to get some hits against a rookie who is having a fantastic start in Misiorowski. I mean, he's on pace to have a very similar year to last year with the runs scored at 30. He had 70 last year. I mean, it's a pretty similar season to last season if you really look at it. Has 8 of the 16 home runs. He's actually on pace to maybe have a better counting stat year, but the OPS is a little bit lower, and the defense is a little bit worse. It's really similar. As a fan of the Cardinals, you'd hope he could pick it up a little bit more, because 2023 provided so much more value, and 2022 was absolutely elite. But sometimes this is what you get. So can't complain about 95th percentile on defense while still being a good hitter. So the game is back. Let's get back to it. First pitch missed to Arenado. Here's the 1-0. Top of the zone, pulled high in the air to left field, but it's going to be playable in left, and the catch is made by Collins. So 1 out in the fifth. Nobody on, 1 pitch, 1 out to start the fifth, and that will bring up Nolan Gorman. Sorry, that was 2 pitches, but that first one I can never really catch all the way. So it always feels like the second pitch is the first pitch of the inning. Anyway, first pitch to Gorman is a swing and a miss at the top of the zone at 99. It's 0-1. And the 0-1 pitch is in there for a strike as well, 0-2. So much for the left-handed command theory. Misiorowski is finding the zone against everybody, and he's really settled in for a fantastic first start. Here's the 0-2 pitch to Gorman. Gorman calls time. We'll have to do it again. All right. So 1 out, nobody on in the 5th. Still no hits for the Cardinals. Here's the 0-2 pitch to Nolan Gorman. Swing and a miss on a sinker outside. Down goes Gorman. Another strikeout for Misiorowski. Puts him at 4. So that'll bring up Pedro Pajes. Cardinals still looking for their first hit. 2 outs, nobody on. Even a hit here probably wouldn't make a massive difference in the game, but it would progress through the order a little bit more. First pitch to Pajes. He is a nice cutter right down the middle for a strike. 0-1. This is one of those pitchers that might tear up the league if he keeps doing stuff like this. Timeout called. Pajes takes it early. Has to really make the pitcher settle into the inning, as this has been a really quick inning for Misiorowski so far. Victor Scott on deck. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Swing and a miss on a cutter outside. Another perfect pitch from Misiorowski, getting the swing, and it's 0-2. The 0-2. Outside 1-2. That was the cutter. Let's see if Pajes can continue to stay alive. Try to at least make him throw some more pitches. It's very unlikely that he'll be able to finish a no-hitter, but if he allows no hits, that'd be incredible in its own right. The 1-2. Swing and a miss. 101 miles an hour. Outside part of the plate. Down goes Pajes, and Misiorowski's been absolutely incredible. Through 5, still hitless, still scoreless for the Cardinals. It's 1-0 Milwaukee. So it'll be Collins, it'll be Chirping, it'll be Durbin. I do want to pull up Chirping. Haven't looked at him today. Above average hitter, great base running. 15 stolen bases so far. He had 50 last year and 26 the year before. And we're pretty early into the year. It looks like he's trending more toward the 26 year than the 50 year. But he'll probably have more than 26. It'll be between. Really nice walk rate at 11.7%. League average strikeout rate at 21.9%. And all of his numbers are good. I mean, even the expected contact numbers. He's been really, really good this year. Did he run faster last year is a question I have, or was he just timing it up? He was a little bit faster, 29.3 feet per second last year, 28.9 feet per second this year at 25 years old. That's one thing I just don't understand. I don't understand how you can have that big of a difference in your sprint speed over the course of 1 year in your early 20s. Like, what changed? I mean, I don't know. Maybe they just measure it early in the year and it picks up. Or maybe they only measure it when they think you're fully sprinting, and that's subjective, but it's just a weird thing that changes each year. I'm getting texts from friends saying they're worried about the Cardinals because they're getting no hit by a rookie. He has really good stuff. Like, Misiorowski is not your normal rookie. He looks really, really good out there. Great command. So, I mean, you can't call it that. Don't call him a rookie, just call him a good prospect. Anyway, here we go. Sonny Gray against Isaac Collins. First pitch missed way inside with the curveball. It's 1-0. Collins did have a triple back in the second and scored the only run of the game. Gray missed up and away with the changeup that time. It's 2-0. Collins hitting at .237 with 2 home runs on the year. Did have a big triple in this one, though, so might as well have been a home run. 2-0 pitch. Fouled back, off of the umpire, 2-1. This is a very typical Sonny Gray start for this season. You allow the 1 run on the weird triple with 2 outs. It was kind of like stab you in the heart type of 2 hits there, an infield hit from Turang, and then you just dominate every other inning. But usually the Cardinals can support him with some runs. As he misses outside with the changeup, it's 3-1 on Collins. Nothing but credit to Misiorowski so far, but his pitch count is getting high, so the Cardinals will have an opportunity against the bullpen. As Gray misses upstairs with his 60th pitch of the game. That's ball 4, and Collins reaches for the second time today. So Isaac Collins on first, nobody out for Bryce Turang. First pitch to Turang. He is up and away with the fastball at 91. It's 1-0. So Gray starting to lose it a little bit for this game. Maybe it's wearing on him. Although his pitch count is a little bit low. He is getting up there in age for a starting pitcher. Here's the 1-0 to Turang. Low and in, fouled back with the cutter. 1-1. That one was at 88 miles an hour inside part of the plate. It is the bottom 3 hitters in the order for the Brewers, due up over the next 3 hitters. So we'll see if Gray can get some outs here and finish off the 5th. The 1-1. Turang pops up a bunt foul. It's 1-2. That was a changeup. Surprised he popped that up. As usually, a changeup moves into the center of the bat and allows you to bunt pretty effectively, but somehow he got under it. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Instead, he checks. Ooh, he got him. Pickoff move on Collins, and Isaac Collins gets picked off for the first out of the 5th. Great move by Sonny Gray. Quick turn, absolutely rifled it to Contreras, and Collins was too far off the bag. Tried to dive into the outside part of the bag, but easily got tagged out. No challenge necessary. And now it's 1-2 on Turang with nobody on. Here's the pitch. Pulled and off the glove of Gorman, through for a base hit. So instead of having a runner on for that hit, instead now it's just Turang on first with 1 out, and that'll bring up Caleb Durbin. That was a tough play for Gorman to make, an absolute rifle off the bat. You do expect him to make that. It hit off his glove, but that's the sacrifice you're willing to make to play Gorman with Donovan out of the lineup. First pitch to Durbin is outside 1-0. That was a sinker at 92. Just missed that lower outside corner. Durbin is 0 for 1 today, has a 602 OPS on the year. Slider missed above the zone that time. It's 2-0. So Gray's going to have to find a spot for this one. Durbin has 2 home runs on the year, 203 batting average with 22 RBIs. 2-0 pitch. Gets the call on a sinker a little bit outside, 2-1. That was one of those veteran sinkers where the umpire will give it to you on the outside edge. And another good frame by Pajes. 2-1 pitch to Durbin. Right down the middle, shot up the middle for a base hit, and Victor Scott will range over. It's going to be runners on first and second with 1 out. That one was hit way too hard for Turang to think about going first to third at 102.4 off the bat. Fastball right down the middle. Just a good piece of hitting, waiting for that ball to travel. Almost got it into the gap, but Victor Scott is a little too fast to let that happen. So with 2 on and 1 out, that's going to bring up Joey Ortiz. Pajes is having a quick discussion with Sonny Gray. Ortiz, starting at shortstop, just has a 187 average on the year, 507 OPS. Really a rough year at the plate, but he was very solid last season, so you can't discount his capability. Sonny Gray really hoping he hits a ground ball here. First pitch to Joey Ortiz. Inside with the sinker, 1-0. Ortiz is 0 for 1 with a fly out back in the third. Does have 2 home runs on the year. 1-0 pitch with 2 men on and 1 out. He's outside with the cutter, 2-0. So it's the bottom of the 5th inning. Runners at first and second with 1 out. Brewers lead 1-0, looking to extend their lead. Sonny Gray just reached 70 pitches in the game. 2-0 pitch to Ortiz. Just caught the outside corner with the fastball at 92, 2-1. Sonny Gray has recorded 5 ground ball double plays this season. Hopefully getting his 6th here. Let's see what he can do. The 2-1 pitch to Ortiz. Smoked to right field. That's going to be a tough play for Burleson. It's easily going to score 2 rang. He hesitates to throw it in, and Ortiz takes a second base. It's going to be a double. So runners at second and third, 2-0 Brewers, with just 1 out in the 5th. Looked like ball got stuck in the glove of Burleson. He was unable to grip it super well after he picked up the ball, and it was also a really tough play to range over. And Ortiz had a great read on the Burleson double clutch, which is what allowed him to take second. So Sonny Gray really having a rough inning, and it'll be at the top of the Brewers order next as Dusty Blake talks to Sonny Gray. The one positive from the Cardinals side is this is a really long break for Misiorowski, so might have a command issue on his next inning. Obviously, you get those warm-up tosses, but a long break can sometimes just be too much for your arm. Honestly, I do want to see him complete a no-hitter. That would be incredible, but he has too high of a pitch count and too long of a break here to expect him to go more than a couple more innings. Either way, here's the first pitch to Frelick. Pulled foul, it's 0-1. A strikeout here for Gray would be huge. A base hit would be huge for the Brewers. They're looking to add to their lead. It is 2-0 Brewers over the Cardinals with 1 out in the 5th. The infield is in. Here's the 1-0 from Gray. Pulled down the right field line and foul. That one was very, very close to being a homer for Frelick. Instead, he just missed it foul. It's 0-2. So Sonny Gray could maybe take advantage of that, try to get a strikeout here with his best pitch, and get out of this with just the 1 run in the inning. The 0-2 pitch to Frelick. Right down the middle, driven into left. That's going to be a base hit. Nootbaar plays it on a hop, makes a throw, but it is cut off. Both runs come in to score. It's 4-0 Brewers in the 5th. A huge rally there with just 1 out. So a 2 RBI single the other way by Sal Frelick gives the Brewers a 4-0 lead with 1 out, and that'll bring up Jackson Chourio. The runners scored maybe within 0.2 seconds of each other as they held the runner at third on a tag when you really didn't need to. But here's the first pitch to Chourio. Sweeper driven in the air to center. At the wall and gone. A 2-run home run for Churio on a hanging curveball right down the middle from Gray. And it is 6-0 Brewers. A really rough inning for Sonny Gray. And it blew up really, really quickly. Just these last 2 pitches changed this from a 2-0 game to a 6-0 game. So it is a party in the first start for Misiorowski in his career, and the Cardinals are on the verge of losing their 4th straight game, barring a big comeback in this one. So we'll see if Sonny Gray can settle back in, at least finish up this start with a couple more innings, as he's at 76 pitches so far in this one. Actually, this is going to be their 5th straight loss because they did lose that final game against the Dodgers as well. And that is it for Sonny Gray, so they're not going to give him the chance to settle back in. Gray's day is over. 76 pitches with 6 earned runs after an incredibly bad 5th inning. And it's a pitcher I have never seen. So we pulled up a guy from the minor leagues. Let's find out who that is. So that's definitely going to be Andre Granillo. So let's find out who that is. This is going to be his big league debut. He's 25 years old. 4-0 in the minor leagues this year with a 1.82 ERA. Does have a save. Hasn't started any games, so he was preparing to be a bullpen member. That's what he's going to be. 46 strikeouts in 29 2/3 innings. Those are good numbers. Went to UC Riverside. He's 25 at 6'4", 250. That's who's pitching for the Cardinals now. So we can grab those same pitch mix numbers that I was looking at earlier for Misiorowski. Oh, did I do it? Yeah, there we go. So he has a fastball, a slider, and that's all that they have on here. So that's not always a good thing to only have 2 pitches. But he is out of the bullpen, so he can make it work. Andre Granillo. Hopefully the Cardinals debut a good pitcher today. Tomorrow's game is going to be Eric Fetty for the Cardinals, so hopefully he can do better than Gray just did. So here we go. First pitch is a changeup for a strike against Contreras. Here's the second pitch. Outside, he rolls it over to short, and Mason Wynn makes the play. So the first out is recorded in Granillo's career. Nobody on in the 5th. And that is going to bring up Christian Yelich. If Granillo puts together a nice outing here, at least that would be a nice way to salvage this one. Nice debut. Here's the first pitch. Outside 1-0 to Yelich. Yelich is 0 for 2 with 1 strikeout against Sonny Gray. 1-0 pitch. Outside again with the slider, 2-0. The Cubs do lead the Pirates 2-0, which is not ideal. 2-0 pitch, upstairs, 3-0. So Yelich way ahead of Granillo. Let's hope he can find the zone some more here. Finds it there. That's a 94-mile-an-hour fastball low and in. It's 3-1. Three-one pitch to Yelich. Swing and a miss on a cutter outside, 3-2. Apparently there's an MLB debut patch on the side of the jersey. That's pretty cool. Misiorowski's might be worth a lot. The 3-2 is driven foul, still 3-2 on Yelich. Here's the 3-2 pitch. Up and in, fouled off, still 3-2. Good at bat from Yelich. After Granillo couldn't find the zone at the beginning of the at bat. He's probably going to get a couple of innings. This is going to be the 10th pitch of his debut, the 3-2. Smoked up the middle for a base hit, and there's the first hit against Granillo. Took him 2 batters to give that up, compared to 5 innings for Misiorowski, who is yet to give up a hit. As Yelich is a tough guy to face for the second hitter you ever face. First hit allowed, now it's going to be Rhys Hoskins. First pitch to Hoskins is upstairs 1-0. So we'll see if Granillo can start to find the zone. The 1-0 pitch is going to be called a strike on the upper outside corner, 1-1. That was a close pitch. It is just a fastball and a slider for Granillo, so I don't know if that's too unpredictable for a hitter, as the slider gets past Pajas and Yelich can skip over to second base. So now the Brewers have another runner in scoring position. The problem with having just 2 pitches is the hitter can look for tells between the 2 pitches in any way possible to know which pitch it is out of the hand, and then once they do that, they find anything that differentiates the 2 pitches. They know exactly what's coming at the release point, and you can't tunnel anything, and it becomes a really, really tough outing. So I would always recommend 3 pitches, maybe add a changeup. But here's the 2-1 with the cutter. Driven to center field, easy play for Scott, and he makes the grab. So a decent 3 hitters faced for Granillo. And we go to the 6th. It's 6-0 Brewers. Still no hits for the Cardinals. So it'll be Victor Scott and then the top of the order. So that might be it for Granillo. But I think they'll give him another inning. That would always be a good thing for him. And they need him to eat some innings anyway, so get him some more experience. Scott, he's obviously been a fantastic fielder. He's the fastest man in baseball at 30.2 feet per second sprint speed. That is the fastest in baseball. Great outs above average in the field. But he hasn't hit too well, 647 OPS. Started off the season pretty well after a rough first couple of weeks. But the last few weeks haven't been great either. Does have a good launch angle, so if he can pick up the exit velo, that could mean a lot for him. But he strikes out a lot, doesn't walk enough to make up for it, and the contact numbers aren't good enough to make up for either of those things either. And then it's going to be the top of the order. You know about Nootbaar and Scott. Nootbaar and Wynn. So Victor Scott, Lars Nootbaar, Mason Wynn, and then Misiorowski. I mean, we go back to Misiorowski. He was the number 4 prospect for the Brewers, so they're not shocked by this. Maybe they're shocked that he still has a no-hitter going, but not that he has a great start going. I mean, he has no ERAs above 5.57. And he was able to bring that down the following year to 350 at that level. And 255 at AAA, 213 at AAA. I mean, that's just fantastic. So he's living the dream here. Let's see how he can do against Victor Scott for the 3rd time. He misses. It's 1-0. Or I guess Victor Scott, this is the 2nd time against Scott, but 3rd time through the order after that. 1-0 pitch is upstairs, 2-0. Misiorowski does have 3 walks allowed so far today. No hits in 5 innings. He's at 80 pitches and just had a long break. 2-0 pitch to Scott. He is outside for ball 3 with the slider, way outside, 3-0. And he is dancing around the mound now as the infield's coming to meet with him. The look on his face says that he wants to stay in the game, but the Brewers staff doesn't seem to want that. The head coach coming out to talk to him. So is the pitching coach. He looks like he wants to stay in the game and protect this no-hitter, but he's at 81 pitches. And he just had a ridiculously long inning between his last 2 pitches thrown. So it's like you can't expect a guy to actually come back out and just lock back in and get 4 more innings of no-hit baseball. Ooh, and he stumbled on the mound there. So they're also looking at his legs. And he's done. Okay, so the Brewers are going to remove him from the game. Precautionary decision. Incredible first outing for Misiorowski. 5 no-hit innings, scoreless. But he is down 3-0 on Victor Scott. I don't think he's going to be responsible for the hitter, so that is it for him. The book is closed. Scoreless first outing, 5 innings pitched, no earned runs, no hits allowed. Incredible first start for him. You just wish it could have been longer. So he is done, and this just becomes a Brewers bullpen game, trying to shut this one down. But the Cardinals do have a chance now to start something with Victor Scott ahead in the count 3-0. And then the top of the order. So let's see who they might be going to. You're going to need... It would probably be smart to go to a lefty. But Donovan's not the third hitter in this game. Is it Burleson? I don't think they moved Burleson up there. I think it's Herrera. So you would have to face 2 righties after the 2 lefties. Is the 3... I think the 3 batter minimum allows you to just come in with a 3-0 deficit and walk the guy. And then just face 2 more hitters. So it would only be Mason Wynn, lefty righty. So you could go to a guy like Ashby. He's been incredible this year. But just 4 appearances, 6 innings pitched, 8 strikeouts for a 0.67 whip. Last year he was really good as well, but he wasn't qualified in either of these years. So his last full year was 2022, where he was much, much worse. But still a great ground ball rate, so you can see why they still want to roster him. They're going to go to Nick Mears. He's thrown 27 innings this year. He's been really, really good at 28 years old. Doesn't have a fantastic strikeout rate, but it's pretty good. Good fastball velo and a very, very low walk rate. So that makes sense. They want a guy who can attack the zone with the lead. That is a great organizational philosophy. From a baseball perspective, walks are one of those things that kill you when you have a big lead. So it makes a lot of sense to go to Mears here. I like that decision. He is one of their middle relief pitchers, but he always seems to find the zone. So Brewers doing what they do best, making smart managerial decisions, protecting their rookie after he took a funky step and twisted his ankle. And bringing in Nick Mears, a guy who throws a lot of strikes with a huge lead in the game. I commend them on that logic. That is a very smart decision. It'll be Victor Scott with a 3-0 count against Mears. He might as well take a pitch or two. The Brewers have not had a great bullpen so far this year, 21st in baseball, but they were second ranked last season. They did lose Williams, their closer. But I do expect their bullpen to do better than as low as they are right now over the course of the rest of the year. Obviously, the Brewers were not intending on going to Mears at this time, so a little bit of a longer warm-up as he didn't really prepare in the bullpen. And we wait for Victor Scott to step back into the batter's box. Is there anything to look at with Mears? Let's see. Doesn't get a lot of whiff and doesn't get a lot of ground ball. But he doesn't really allow barrels, so maybe he's good at preventing launch angle. Gets a lot of pop-ups maybe, but I think the Cardinals could probably hit him pretty hard, try to continue to get single after single. A lot of hard hit baseballs, maybe some doubles. That would be a good attack strategy as he throws a lot of strikes, very low walk rate. You expect him to take a walk here against Victor Scott as it's 3-0. The odds that you throw 3 strikes in a row are just low in general, even if you're one of the best pitchers in baseball. And if he's able to throw a couple, then Scott might be able to get a hit as well. So 3-0 count. First pitch for Nick Mears is a strike at the upper outside corner, 3-1. Victor Scott is 0 for 1 with a strikeout today. This is his second at-bat. It's 3-1. Here's the pitch from Mears. Swing and a miss on a fastball up and away once again. 3-2. So he is able to find the zone twice in a row. That is why the Brewers chose to go to Mears in the first place. And let's see if he has a good wipeout pitch. The 3-2. Up and away again. Fouled back. Still 3-2. So Mears did throw 3 pitches in the zone in a row. That is his specialty, and he executed perfectly, but hasn't gotten Scott yet. The 3-2 pitch again is popped up and out of play. So a good at-bat from Scott, trying to stay alive and protect the 3-0 count that he already had. As Mears continues to pound the zone, he has a very over-the-top delivery, which allows for consistency as he misses inside for ball 4, and Victor Scott does draw the walk. So the walk, which felt inevitable, had to be earned by Scott, but Scott did get there. 1 man on with nobody out. And here comes Lars Nootbaar. It makes sense that Mears has almost a perfectly vertical delivery for him to have such a low walk rate, because you don't miss left and right when you have that type of delivery. Nootbaar's pointing up at the mound, and Mears is holding something weird with the rosin bag. I don't know what's going on. But Victor Scott on first, nobody out in the 6th. He gets a new rosin bag. He has that over-the-top delivery. It is still a no-hitter, but there's 1 man on. A straight vertical delivery pitcher to Lars Nootbaar. I think this is a good opportunity for Nootbaar to straighten out his swing without any of that horizontal movement. Here is the pitch to Nootbaar. Missed just low with the slider, 1-0. So 1 man on, nobody out. Nick Mears on the mound, a guy who throws a lot of strikes. The 1-0 to Nootbaar. Fouled back, 96 at the top of the zone, 1-1. Nootbaar does have a walk in the game. That was back in the 4th. Hasn't recorded a hit in a while, at least in 3 games. Here's the 1-1 pitch to Nootbaar. Swing and a fly ball to left. Playable in left, and the catch is made by Collins. 1 out with a man on, and that'll bring up Mason Wynn. So still a no-hitter so far, with Victor Scott, one of the fastest men in baseball, on first. He is a threat to steal. You could steal second base and try to drive him in with a base hit. But first you have to get a hit. Here's the pitch from Mears to Wynn. It is upstairs with the slider, 1-0. Wynn is 0 for 2 with a pop out and a fly out. The 1-0 pitch to Wynn. 97 at the top of the zone, fouled back, 1-1. So 1 man on with 1 out. Mears is a guy who can give up a high average exit velocity, so if Mason Wynn can just hit the ball hard into the right spot, that could be the first hit for the Cardinals, but he chased a slider there. It's 1-2. Mears is set. Here's the 1-2 pitch to Wynn. Takes strike 3 with a slider at the bottom of the zone. Down goes Wynn. Another strikeout. First of the day for Wynn. First for Mears, but a lot of strikeouts for Misiorowski. He had 5. Now Mears has 1. That's 6 for the Brewers in 6 innings. And here's the first pitch to Ivan Herrera. Fouled back, 0-1. Herrera is 0 for 2. Does have a strikeout today. The 0-1 from Mears to Herrera is upstairs, 1-1. Big hole in the middle of the infield. If Herrera can put it there, he grounds 1 over to short, flip to second, and the Cardinals are still hitless through 6. Good inning from Nick Mears after the walk that was basically issued by Misiorowski. Great job to get those 3 outs, and here come the Cardinals bullpen. I don't know if it'll still be Granillo in his debut, but it'll be Collins, Turang, and Durbin. We look at the Cardinals' bullpen options. I think they're going to stick with the Granillo because they pulled him up. Usually they use AAA guys when you're down by a lot and you want to eat innings, but at the same time, Helsley hasn't gotten work in a while. I guess it's only been a few days. But if we look a little bit lower, Matz needs some work. Romero needs some work. I guess Granillo could probably go 1 more inning. So that would be the plan, probably. Maton is available if you really want to, but more likely you go Granillo, you go Matz, and you go Romero. Let me see if Turang was faster a couple years ago. Yeah, he was 29.4. Now he's 28.9. So, I mean, half a foot per second is really, really a lot to lose just due to age from 23 to 25, but it is what it is. Guess he was born in 2000. It's a really easy math problem for your age. They did send Granillo back out there, so that's what we expected. So I didn't pull up any numbers. Granillo versus Collins. He gets the first out. Let's see what this pitch is. First pitch was pulled over to second base. Easy play for Gorman on a hop. So one man out. Good job by Granillo. And here's the first pitch to Turang. Turang takes a fastball right down the middle. 0-1. Turang is 2 for 2 today. Has an RBI and a run scored. As he hits a fly ball to left field, playable for Nootbaar. And Nootbaar makes the grab. 2 outs. 2 outs, nobody on. That's going to bring up Caleb Durbin. As Granillo looks to go an inning and 2/3 scoreless in his MLB debut. From here, you can just do 1 inning apiece with Matz and Romero and call it a day unless there's a bottom of the 9th. As the fastball catches the zone, it's 0-1. And if you reach the bottom of the 9th, that means Helsley can come in at that point, because that would mean you pulled off a heck of a comeback. The 0-1 missed downstairs, it's 1-1. One pitch to Durbin. He is up and in, popped foul, 1-2. So Andre Granillo is 1 strike away from an inning and 2/3 debut with scoreless performance. As he misses low and away, it's 2-2. Durbin is 1 for 2, did have a single and a run scored back in the 5th inning. 2-2. Pulled foul, still 2-2. Seems like everybody was able to get a hit in that 5th inning. The one that kind of blew up for Sonny Gray. 2-2 pitch to Durbin. Ground ball over to short. Tough play for Wynn, but he'll make the play. A very nice throw by Wynn. And Granillo goes an inning and 2/3 scoreless in his MLB debut. Great job by Andre Granillo. It'll be Contreras, Burleson, and Arenado. Trying to get the first hit of the game for the Cardinals. So Mears just threw 1 inning. Let's see. He usually throws, 15 pitches on Saturday, 14 pitches on Wednesday. It looks like he's a 1 inning type of guy. So with right-handed hitters coming up, Burleson splitting them, you probably go to a right-handed pitcher. After Arenado is Gorman, though, so another strategy could be leave Mears in to face Contreras, and then you pull him and go to a lefty to face Burleson, Arenado, Gorman. That would make sense as well. Could go to Savali if you just want to eat innings. I don't expect them to go straight to a left-handed pitcher. I think Mears could probably handle 1 more hitter. It's probably what I would do. You leave Mears in, then you go to Koenig or DL Hall. DL, really? Let's see. Left-handed pitcher. 43 innings last year, 44 strikeouts with a 1.6 whip. How does that even happen? So a really high walk rate. Maybe he's a lefty-lefty specialist. They're going to go to Aaron Ashby. So they just went straight to a lefty. Completely against what I was just saying. He hasn't been too good. Was a starter back in 2022, so maybe they're trying to get multiple innings out of him. But you have lefty-righty here with Wilson Contreras, so unless there's some reverse splits, I think that's strange. Either way, Ashby's thrown 6 innings. They've all been scoreless so far in this season. First pitch to Contreras. He is low, 1-0 with the curveball. So Contreras is ahead. The 1-0 pitch. Another curveball right down the middle for a strike, 1-1. The 1-1 pitch driven up the middle and through for a base hit. Wilson Contreras breaks up the no-hitter. That's what I was saying. You don't go to a lefty against Contreras. There are no reverse splits. There is no no-hitter today. I don't know why you would go to Ashby until after Contreras had hit. So the Brewers clearly didn't care about the no-hitter. They just want to win the game. 1 man on with nobody out in the 7th, and that will bring up Alec Burleson. Here's the pitch. It is low and away with the curveball, 1-0. Contreras is trying to steal second, and he is out. So he throws away the first hit of the game for the Cardinals, and there's 1 out with nobody on. So maybe he wants to go home early. That was a terrible decision, testing his own brother. 1 out, nobody on, 1-0 count on Burleson. That felt like something that was just a decision because it was his brother and not because he's trying to win a Major League Baseball game. Here's the pitch to Burleson. Up and in, 2-0. Pitch. Right down the middle for a strike, 2-1. That was a sinker, 97 miles an hour. Ashby, being a former starter, could probably go multiple innings if the Brewers want to just try to close it out like that. Especially now that they've given up a hit. The 2-1 pitch to Burleson is up and in. He, for some reason, swung at it and lofted it out to center field for a base hit. So another hit for the Cardinals. They have 1 man on with 1 out in the 7th. Could be 2 men on. But here comes Arenado. First pitch to Nolan is in there for a strike at 98 miles an hour with the sinker, 0-1. Arenado is 0 for 2 today, has yet to strike out in this one. 1 man on, 1 man out. The 0-1 pitch is driven out to center field for another base hit, and there's 2 men on with 1 out. Contreras could have scored there. But instead he chose to get thrown out at second base. So here we go. 2 men on with 1 out. And that'll bring up Nolan Gorman. Cardinals still trying to get something going. Lefty. Here's the pitch from Ashby to Gorman. Curveball found the zone. 0-1. That was 81 inside part of the plate. Burleson on second. Arenado on first. The 0-1 pitch to Gorman is a curveball inside. He turns on it, but lofts it into right field. And it's caught by Churriel. So 2 outs. Runners on first and second, and that'll bring up Pedro Pajes, the Cardinals catcher, in the 7th. So we'll see if the Cardinals can cash in at all on these 3 hits in a row. First pitch to Pages. He's way up and away. It's going to move the runners over to second and third with 2 outs. So maybe this could feel like a valid inning if Pages can hit a base hit and get the Cardinals within a swing of the bat. I would be incredibly excited about this inning if Contreras had not just tried to randomly steal second base there. Like, it was just... the ball did not skip away very far, and William Contreras has a great arm, so just don't get it. The 1-0 to Pages. Ground ball. It's going to be playable at third. Fantastic play at third by Durbin, and we'll go to the bottom of the 7th. Still scoreless for the Cardinals. It is 6-0 Brewers. So Joey Ortiz and then the top of the order. Granillo is going to be done. I will take a look at what Ortiz's side of the plate is. Like, does he switch hit? I don't think so. Yeah, he's just a righty. Frelick, Churio, I believe they're just righties. Frelick might be a... yeah, he is a lefty. Okay. All right, is Churio... see, I might be... no, Churio is a righty. Okay. So it's righty, lefty, righty here. And Contreras is a righty. So you do want to go to a right-handed pitcher, but Steven Matz needs some work. So I think you just go to Matz. And if their lineup is mostly right-handed hitters, then you're probably not going to want to use Matz anyway during the series, so just use Matz now. He needs some work. Get him some innings. He's been really good this year. 87th percentile with 8 pitching run value, 2.41 ERA. You almost think he could be a starter, but he hasn't lasted too long within the context of a game, so having him for lefty-lefty is really, really nice. Brewers fans having a lot of fun with the 7th inning stretch. Take me out to the ball game being played. And the Cardinals leave Granillo in, and he gets the first strike on Ortiz. So, trying to get through his 2nd inning here. He's at 1 2/3. Missed outside with the fastball, 1-1. He isn't listed as a starter at any level, so I wonder how many pitches they're willing to go with Granillo. I guess it's more than I expected. The 1-1 is fouled back, 1-2. I mean, there could be a lefty-lefty at bat against Yelich, where you might want to use Steven Matz, but outside of that, I don't know when you would use him. The 1-2 is in the dirt with the slider, 2-2. Although Matz has been a high-quality reliever against everybody this year, it's just beneficial to pitch him against lefties when you can. 2-2 pitch to Ortiz. He is popped up. Playable at third for Arenado. He'll make the grab. 1 out in the 7th. So Granillo threw 2 innings now in his debut. 28 pitches, 0 earned runs. And that's going to bring up Sal Frelick, the left-handed hitter for the Brewers. Takes strike 1 right down the middle with the slider. It's 0-1. So the Cardinals continue to go to their minor league arms when they are way behind, which has benefits, but it can put you further out of a game that you could come back and win. This is definitely not going to be one of those games, at least by how it feels, but in that game against the Blue Jays, when they go to Roycroft and they had a couple guys who hadn't received innings and ended up scoring those 3 runs in the 9th, it's kind of unfortunate. But Granillo misses upstairs. It's 3-1 now on Frelick. And when you're on a 5-game losing streak, you might want to start getting your good pitching some work. Here's the 3-1 pitch, right down the middle, pulled for a base hit. So Sal Frelick is 3 for 4 today. Great game from him. He has 2 RBIs and a run scored, looking to score another. And that's going to bring up Jackson Chourio. Last time up, he took a hanging sweeper right down the middle from Gray and launched it 29 degrees, 104.8 off the bat for a 410-foot home run to dead center. As he takes a slider low and away for ball 1. Does only have 1 hit in the game, but it was that huge 2-run blast to put this game out of reach for the Cardinals, at least reasonably. So it's 2-0 now. Granillo's pitch count getting a little bit high. Here's the 2-0 pitch. Popped foul, 2-1. That is another thing, is you don't want to ruin a guy's first outing of his career. He had a inning and 2/3 scoreless outing, Granillo did, but now Granillo has to face Chourio, one of the better hitters on the Brewers, with a man on and 1 out, to try to protect that scoreless outing. But it is good experience, so I can't complain too much. Worst thing that could happen is he gives up some runs and he learns from it. Two-one pitch from Granillo. Ground ball. Just foul. Arenado would have been able to make a play on that ball, but it was able to get into foul territory. 2-2. So Granillo at 37 pitches in his first major league outing. 23 of those are strikes, which means 14 are balls. That's a fine ratio. Two-two pitch, right down the middle, popped up. Playable at third for Arenado. And he makes the catch. So 2 outs in the 7th, 1 man on first. And that will bring up William Contreras as Granillo looks to finish off his outing, I believe, this time. Contreras is 0 for 3 with a couple of strikeouts today. The pitch, fouled back, 0-1. Did make a great play on his brother in this last inning when Wilson Contreras tried to take a base after a blocked baseball, and William made a great throw to get him at second. Got him by multiple steps, and it's 0-2 now after he fouls the ball back. Pitch 41 in the first outing of Granillo's career, the 0-2 to Contreras. Too high, it's 1-2. William Contreras not having his best offensive season. You expect to see more, but today hasn't added to it either. The 1-2. He goes down and lofts this out to left field, and Nootbaar ranges back and makes the catch. So we'll go to the 8th. It is 6-0 Brewers. Great first outing by Andre Granillo. 2 2/3 after 40-plus pitches. 0 earned runs. So I think it'll be Victor Scott again. Yes, it will. So Victor Scott, Lars Nootbaar, Mason Wynn. That's a couple of left-handed hitters. The Brewers bullpen. Rob Zestrizny. That's a tough name. Could make a lot of sense here. DL Hall would also make sense if he throws strikes, but I don't think he does. I think I just checked earlier, and DL Hall is a guy who walks a lot of hitters. So when you have a big lead, that's not a guy you go to. We'll check Zass. I think if I just type Zass, that would just make him show up. Yeah, there we go. Does he throw strikes? 1.15 whip. Walk rate is 5.6%. That's pretty low. He had a 0.65 whip last year in 7 2/3 innings. That's not a high sample. Let's go to 2023. He had a high walk rate in 2023. So he's all over the place. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, I don't even know. There's no sample on this guy. He was drafted by the Cubs. Some seasons he walks a lot of guys. Some seasons he doesn't. No season above 21 innings that I can see. So let's look for another candidate. They might go to him, but I just don't know what they have. They might just stick with Aaron Ashby. Was Ashby a starter? I think he was. So they'll probably just stick with him. They have lefty right now. He was a starter in 2022. Yeah, that would make sense. They go to Wait, no, I'm sorry. Stick with Ashby. Misiorowski's name showed up on my screen because of a lag, but a curveball just hits Victor Scott in the head. It hit him in the helmet. Hopefully he's okay. I believe the helmet did protect the back of his head, but that is still a very, very scary moment. Victor Scott seems to be okay. I mean, he's answering questions, shaking his head. They might take him out of the game just due to concussion protocol and just to be safe. Definitely don't see a reason why you'd leave him in. But if he can pass a concussion test and you know he's fine, and he seems fine, then you could leave him in. But let's see, the helmet was already coming off. He hit him in the back side of the head, and the helmet did protect it and fly off, but it wasn't really a stable helmet, so it might have kind of jabbed him. Definitely can't feel good. He's following the finger perfectly fine. Concussion test seems to be going pretty well. He's answering the questions. It's funny, they're actually just showing the whole concussion exam. Like it's almost like a doctor's visit. They're asking him questions. He's following the finger. He can see. He doesn't look super into it, but he also seems bored. I would say, I mean, technically he probably has a concussion from the fact, like, a mild one, but he doesn't have like a real concussion in the way that we measure it. Like, just because scientifically, every time you get hit in football, you get a mild concussion or whatever. Like, that's what they say scientifically. So I'm sure like part of his head got hit there, but as far as like a real concussion that you would define that should knock you out of a game or anything, he definitely doesn't have that. He seems perfectly fine. So Victor Scott will continue to play. He's at first. Lars Nootbaar at the plate. Here's the pitch. Sinker right down the middle for a strike at 97. It's 0-1. So Nootbaar still looking for that first hit in a long while. Takes a sinker outside. It's 1-1. Let's see if Newbar can finally reach by the swing of the bat. The 1-1 pitch. Low and away with the curveball, 2-1. Two-1 from Ashby to Newbar. Ground ball. Playable at second. They go to second for one. Try to make a turn, and they do. A double play ball. So Newbar really struggling. Continues to struggle. 2 outs, nobody on, and that'll bring up Mason Wynn. Wynn is 0 for 3 today. Does have a strikeout in the game. First pitch from Ashby to Wynn. He's going to catch the lower outside corner with the curveball, 0-1. The 0-1 pitch. Low and away with the curveball again, 1-1. Next pitch. Right down the middle, ground ball. Easy play at short. The play will be made, and we go to the bottom of the 8th. So it's still 6-0 Brewers. Ortiz with an easy play there. And it's going to be, I believe, Yelich, Hoskins, and Collins. Yes, it will. So it could still be Grunio for the Cardinals. I just don't think that would be reasonable. 42 pitches from a guy who's never been a starter. Probably want him to be done. He had a really nice outing. Just go get JoJo. Go get Mats. One or the other. You start with Yelich anyway. Which of the two hasn't pitched in a while? Let me see. Oh, what did I just do? Oh, there we go. Okay, so yeah, JoJo hasn't pitched since June 6th. So I would definitely just get JoJo Romero in the game. He's perfectly fresh. You already have Mats for lefty-lefty matchups later in the series. You can get the read on the matchup against Yelich in case you want to do it again. I would go to one of the lefties here. Just get that read on that matchup. It might help the hitter, but I don't think it does. I think it helps the pitcher to see the hitter one time. See what works, what doesn't work, the swing plane. That's what I would do. Cardinals are going to go to a different lefty. They're going to go with John King, even though he has pitched recently. So maybe they've already done some simulated outings for Mats and Romero. King has a 61.2% ground ball rate, 98th percentile on that stat. That's great. Also a very low walk rate, but he does have a pretty high ERA at 3.8 because he doesn't strike out very many hitters. And the expected batting average against is very, very high at 296. Also says his off speed is terrible, so probably a bad changeup. That'll hurt any pitcher. But he catches the outside corner with the first pitch with the sinker. To Yelich, it's 0-1. Next pitch is low and away for a ball, 1-1. So you wonder if the Cardinals are going to want King to face Yelich later in this series, or if they want to mask their other lefties, save them to face Yelich for the first time when they feel closer in the game. Sinker just caught the outside corner. It's 1-2. It is Yelich, Hoskins, and Collins this inning. Here's the 1-2 from King. Missed just downstairs with the slider, 2-2. 2-2 pitch to Yelich. Ground ball up the middle. It is through. Gets past the diving Wynn. Base hit for Yelich, so you definitely don't want King to face him in a crucial spot. 1 man on with nobody out. That'll bring up Rhys Hoskins. Hoskins is 0 for 3 with a strikeout in this one. First baseman, obviously formerly of the Phillies. The pitch is in there for a strike with the sinker, 0-1. We take a look around the league. The Pirates are rallying a little bit. It is 3-2 Cubs in Chicago, so that is a close game. As Hoskins fouls one back, it's 0-2. Maybe Pittsburgh could put up a run or two in the 9th and give themselves a chance to win. The 0-2 pitch from King to Hoskins. Inside, fouled back, still 0-2. Hoskins is 0 for 3 with 10 home runs on the year, so he could fix this game for himself with one swing of the bat. The 0-2 is in the dirt, 1-2. 10 home runs at this stage of the season is pretty good. You're not quite halfway through the year. Could easily get to 25 from here with 10 at this point. The 1-2, ground ball, foul, still 1-2. King is at 10 pitches, has yet to record an out. Unlikely to be used in the next few games in Milwaukee, so it makes sense that they'd go to him here. But he misses way upstairs, it's 2-2. That was a non-competitive pitch. Here is the 2-2 pitch to Hoskins. Fouled back, still 2-2. The Yankees and the Royals playing an interesting one in Kansas City. It is 0-0 with 2 outs in the bottom of the 7th and nobody on. So that game could easily go to extras without any runs scored. The 2-2, ground ball to short. Mason Wynn makes the toss. Gorman with the turn, and it's a double play. So Hoskins has a really rough day. A ground out, strikeout, line out, and grounded into double play. Really rough day for him, but his team won, so that should take some of that sting away. That'll bring up Isaac Collins with 2 outs and nobody on. He is 1 for 2 with a walk. First pitch. He is low with the changeup, 1-0. Here's the 1-0 pitch to Collins. Ground ball, playable for Arenado, but it's off his glove. It would have been an incredible play if Arenado did make the play, but it's an infield hit for Collins. And Arenado is unable to do it this year. Let's see. Bouncing ball. Tough one for Arenado to range over and get. I don't think it would have been a play that most third basemen would have been able to make, but just seems like one that Arenado might have been able to. Unable to that time. Here's the pitch to Turang. It's a strike, 0-1. Turang is 2 for 3 with a run scored and an RBI today. The 0-1, ground ball. Mason Wynn will go to first and get him. By a step, we go to the 9th. A nice scoreless inning from John King on that double play ball. We'll see if the manager challenges on this. I believe he's out. Yeah, Mason Wynn, all good. We go to the top of the 9th. So Herrera, Contreras, and Burleson. So righty, and lefty. I mean, they're not using a closer. They're up by 6. Could probably just let Ashby finish it, but in the ninth, maybe. Well, there's no reason to risk anything. I think you stick with Ashby until he's missing the zone. And then you have Savali. Let's see. Did anyone not pitch in a while? You could go to Koenig, the lefty, after Ashby faces a few guys. Because he hasn't pitched in a while. You go to him against Burleson. The bullpen's generally pretty fresh for the Brewers coming into this series. Just had to get a save and a hold from Uribe and Miguel on the 10th. They're going to go to... Well, we'll see. We'll probably stick with Ashby, but let's see if we can figure it out. From what I can tell, Ashby's still in the game. Yep, that's him. Okay, so Ashby first pitch to Herrera is a strike, 0-1. So it makes sense to stick with him. If he can get the 3 outs, that'll do it. But if not, as the second pitch misses inside, 1-1. If he can't get these 3 outs or continue to command his stuff, you go to a lefty to face Burleson, Gorman, Pajes, and Arenado. Here's the 1-1. Curveball, ground ball to third. Easy play over there. And it is made for out number 1 by Durbin. So 1 out, nobody on. That's going to bring up Wilson Contreras. Contreras is 1 for 2 with a walk, but he did get thrown out after that hit, trying to take second base. '25th pitch of the game for Ashby, the first one to Contreras. Here it is. Curveball, caught the upper outside corner for a strike, 0-1. The 0-1 pitch. Upstairs, 1-1. Contreras has been incredible at the plate pretty much since that terrible first month. And he's continued that in this game. I just wish he would have made a smart base running decision. As he drives one to right field, and it's caught. A nice diving catch in right by Frelick. 2 outs in the 9th. And that will bring up Alec Burleson as the final hitter for the Cardinals today. Player of the game is definitely Jacob Misiorowski in his major league debut. Wearing number 33, he threw 5 scoreless innings with no hits allowed, 4 walks, and 5 strikeouts. First pitch to Burleson is up and in. That's ball 1 with the curveball. Final out of the day for the Cardinals, the 1-0 pitch to Burleson. Low and away, that is a ball once again. It's 2-0. Next pitch to Burleson is low and away, ball 3, 3-0 on Burleson. So Cardinals' final hope has a chance to reach here. They would need a heck of a rally to come back in this one. The 3-0 pitch. Right down the middle at 98 with the sinker, 3-1. So all bets are off now. We'll see if Burleson takes a swing at this one. He is 1 for 3 today. The 3-1 pitch. Perfectly placed, low and away, 3-2. Burleson did have a single in that 7th inning when the Cardinals finally broke through. And the Cardinals are down to their final strike, the 33rd pitch of the day for Ashby. As Burleson thought he drew a walk on that last pitch, he did not. Here's the 3-2. Swing and a miss on a slider below the zone, and the game is over. Misiorowski's debut goes fantastically for the Brewers. They win 6-0. The Cardinals struggle, only get 3 hits, with some bad base running and a rough inning for Sonny Gray. Cardinals have lost 5 straight, look to turn it around tomorrow on the back of Fetty. We'll see you guys next time. Thank you for listening.